All right, so I'm doing a little rearranging and moving stuff around and changing things. And so what I ended up doing is I've got this UPS here. It doesn't stay on all the time for the display. I guess it's around 450 amps or 450 watts, 825 volt amps. I do not know why they like to advertise in that type of rating. The output is 0.108 kilowatt, which I guess makes it 104 or 10 watts. I don't know. No, it's 104 watts. The output is 24%. Battery capacity is 100. 32 minutes runtime. Now, if I shut this off, it'll turn off everything that I have hooked to it. So I've got a power strip hooked to it. I've got the Astron 35 hooked to it. And it'll beep at me when it comes back on. The Astron will come back on. The radio will come back on. So what this allows me to do is I can sit here and operate for at least a little while without having any power. Of course, I have solar, but I mean, you know, it's basically just for the air conditioning. So basically here with this, if I unplug it, it won't last a long time because the battery in there isn't great, but it hasn't failed yet. So I just I'll replace it when I need to. And probably what I'll actually do, I'll try and find one that fits in there, but what I'll probably end up doing is I'll just take a different lithium iron phosphate battery and just run wires to it and hook it up. So I don't know the issue with any kind of charging to be a problem because I'll have BMSs. The lithium battery might not charge to full potential, but you know, whatever. Now, one issue I did run into this is because this is an uninterrupted power supply. You have outputs for surge, and you have outputs for surge and battery on the back of it. And if you exceed the amount that it's rated, it will beep at you. And this is just a Best Buy one that I found at a thrift store for like $7. And so it's in pretty good shape. Here's our output. If we go into the radio, I'd move the speaker down over here too. So we go into the radio here. I need to move this cable. Hold on. So to show us the output, if we turn on, say, another radio, the output goes up a little higher. So we know how much power we're drawing. Okay? If I go here and I start to tune, doesn't like that, does it? Okay. See how it's drawing more? So its job of it is to make sure that not only is it uninterrupted power, but it's also keeping it, in most cases, at line level. So if the voltage dips a certain amount, the battery and inverter will kick in and raise the voltage. Well, there's always somebody everywhere you go. All right, let's go here. We'll go RTTY. And I wish this thing would stay on. So we're drawing almost half a kilowatt. Here you saw the load capacity went up. Okay, output 36%. 104% at RTTY. We're putting out 100 watts. So when I would run other radios with this, estimated runtime 23 minutes. So it's letting us know that this radio, 100 watts, is basically maxing this thing out. But when I would run other radios like my 102, which puts out like 180 watts, it would beep at me. And it would tell me that I'm overloading this thing. So it was annoying. So that needs to be, you'd have to plug other things to where they're not on battery backup if they're going to draw too much. Also, this is only rated at so much anyways, so you should just plug those into something else. So the idea is it's going to back up your stuff if the power goes out. It's going to keep the voltage where it needs to be if the power sags. Right now we're at 118 volts because everybody's got their air conditioners on. We don't, though. Okay, so I'm going to reach back in here, and I'm going to unplug it. It's really kind of hard to get back there. Hold on. Okay, it's unplugged, and it's going to beep at me. They're just showing me my battery capacity. The radio never flinched. Okay. RTTY. Beeping at me. So the battery is soft. Also, if you hold down that button, silent will come back on. Okay. But it still beeps for certain things. The runtime will go back and forth as the battery rebounds. Apparently it's not going to shut up. So it beeps even whether if you don't like it to or not. I turn that radio off, it stopped beeping. We turn the radio itself off with just the Astron running and a monitor. And I think that's probably it. Well, let's just go over here, just for laughs and giggles. Okay, we're on sideband. We did a tune-up. It's going to beep at us. So according to this, the battery is shot. This capacity is nothing. Let's just see. Hello, test 1, 2, 3, 4. It went off. So basically, we can tell now that this ain't gonna work very much. But I was able to put out a couple 100-watt stuff. So, you know, if my power went off, I'd have enough time to say, okay, guys, my power's out. I think everything's okay here. You know, I'll catch you guys later. You know, or whatever. It gives you a few seconds to figure out what you need to do. I would say that if the battery was in good shape, it would probably be 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes that you probably, you know, had. But, you know, it's not meant to run everything. It's just, you know, designed to do things a certain way. So Anyway, we just kind of wanted to stress test it. And I mean, I definitely put out 100 watts carrier several times, you know. So, and it's beeping, it's warning you. So, you know, I mean, that's the thing. We turned off a few extra things and stopped beeping. These are cool to have, and you can usually find them at surplus places and stuff because a lot of the places are just not using them anymore. And this one was probably personal use, but you know, you get a lot of these other UPC ones and whatnot. And is it Schneider or God, I can't remember. So APC is one of them. Um, I can't remember the other one. Anyway, you should be able to get them pretty cheap. So it's definitely not bad to have. And if you're just going to open them up and hook them to a different battery, I mean, you know, I mean, I've got an extra 20 amp hour battery, 15 amp hour battery. I mean, I'm sure that the one in here is like 7 or something, you know? So it would be pretty easy to just replace it. In fact, we could try a little experiment. Hold on. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll pull the battery, and I'll be right back. So then right in there is the battery. Let's set this cover somewhere. Okay. I don't remember what this battery came out of. I think it was something else. Okay, so we have that out of there. And I'm going to see if I can put one of my lithium iron phosphate ones that has tabs on it in there. I think it'll fit. I just don't think they'll be in the right orientation. Maybe not. Let's have a look. And there's something else too. See the size of the tabs? Oh, this is irritating about some of these batteries. So this is just a 7 amp hour. And this is a 6. So if we could fit it in there, it'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is, we're very, very close. I'm going to modify this. And we'll remove some of that material. And we will fit this in here. So I got real creative with it. I took a Sawzall and I got down in there. Let me get the cover back on this. I'm going to put some foam on top of it. All right, well, I boogered it up a little bit, but not too bad. I just really don't care. I paid $8.49 for this last year. So we'll have to see what it does. It's plugged in. It thinks battery capacity is good, but it's not, because I couldn't get it to run. I don't know how charged that battery was. Probably should have been pretty good, actually, so we might have a problem. Might actually be something wrong with this thing. You never know. That's why I don't really care, you know. But I have another one, too, that's 24 volt. That definitely does a lot more power. So let me see what this does when I unplug it again. So it's unplugged, and it's gonna beep at me. So let's run it off of our 6 amp hour battery. You see it's dropping fast. The other thing too is, I'm not so sure the connections on the battery are like really tip top, because they're like kind of wrong size. I imagine if we try to talk on this or even tune up, it's probably gonna not like it. Let's see what happens. Battery capacity bounced back a little bit. It's going up. So anyway, I'm just going to leave that one in there like that. So we've hacked this thing and put a lithium iron phosphate in here. If we could find one in that form factor, we could just go ahead and swap it. So I'll take a look on Amazon later on, but I already had this other one, and I wasn't really using it for radios because of the size and shape of it. So, but anyway, we'll see what we can do. This other battery was just a little too square, and that's why it didn't clear, but it's definitely half the size of that. So unless this battery is not fully charged, I just tested it and made it shut off. It's really only doing about the same as the other one did. So the other one might be perfectly fine. Anyway, the best way to really do this is to run solar into a 12-volt battery or some kind of setup like that, because what you're doing is you're making this thing produce voltage that's going into the power supply, then back into the radio. So you're taking a 12-volt battery in here and converting it to 120 to 12 just to run the radio. So it's definitely not the best way to do it. But I just thought I'd show you guys a little something with that. And I know you can get lithium iron phosphate versions of these. I just don't know how cheap they are.